Right. So liberal arts are a very good way because negotiation, for example, winning business overseas, making a connection with Europeans, is not just English. Basically, English is the bridge, but if you want to engage, you will need if you need to walk that bridge in order to get to the other side and meet eye to eye and understand this person.
Yeah, my
So
question
without the
is,
bridge, you will not get to the other side. But getting to the other side will not mean that you will actually build up trust. So build up trust. One of the elements there is liberal arts that can prepare you to better
yeah, my
understand.
question is, what kind of liberal arts we're going to teaching for the customer?
Well, basically,
Like
there.
if you're going to teach, okay, Middle East or Africa, they will say, no, 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 we don't need, we are not interested in
Right.
teaching our people. What kind of context we're going to do? But actually, I recommend you had better study about why Assad is he's a
What's
liar,
happening in the world? Right.
and also why Libya was corrupted. How do you think about Botswana as a country? So many AIDS people there.
Mm.
We should study that kind of things to get wider perspective. But Japanese companies, they will not accept us to teach them
No,
sort of things. So how?
which I can understand.
So what what you thinking about this liberal arts? What kind of deliverables to the customer?
Well, I think in terms of deliverables to the customer, I think understanding a little bit about the people's social conditions, about their history, about their habits. So I think psychology, sociology, philosophy of the people you're going to engage with will already bring you pretty far.
But still, I'm not clearly figure out what you're talking about.
I mean that basically, if you're going to, for example, to engage with Chinese, it's very good to have an understanding where Chinese people come from. So that means that to understand a little bit about their history, the history of China, how it evolved, the particularities about their history, their sensitivities, their victories. That is important. Then, how does their society work? Sociology. So how is it organized with paleo? What's it called? Always pay tribute to your parents.
So talking about cultural gap,
Right. So to understand more about their culture,
it does make sense.
right? To understand about business culture, about family culture. So if we understand sociology, psychology, what is the mindset?
Okay, if like this, if are you going to, you are going,
Confucianism.
you are going to interest in or consider for the expand market in Malaysia, okay, we're going to teach you Malaysia.
Right. But that means history, psychology, philosophy.
Exactly. What I did before.
Mm.
Every country in the world.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I understand what you mean.
On different levels, right?
Okay.
Just history itself will not cut it, because then you still will not, you will understand something, but you also need to kind of like understand the influence of English culture on Malaysia, for example. What was adapted, the influence of the Chinese in Malaysia and their role in the Malaysian economy, the role of the Burmese, the importance of corruption in Malaysia, and how do Malaysians think? What is their ethics towards work? What is important to them? Is family important? Is consumerism important? What do they value? What do they despise? These things are I think is important if you want to engage with Malaysians. And still, that's an average, but still, it prepares you much better, because that average will also be on the mindset of the people that you're engaging with. So that will give you a much better possibility to understand where people are coming from, and maybe even anticipate where they want to go.
Right.
Okay. So liberal arts, I think, is very important in order to actually meet eye to eye with these people. And of course, if you go drinking at night and the discussion goes wide after having lots of alcohol, probably not in Malaysia, by the way, but after drinking a lot of alcohol, for example, with your Chinese partner, then things might basically sway to Africa. And it would be nice if you have something to say about Africa, but, well, okay, in that case, well, just switch it back to China. Talk about their family. I think that's
Okay. Right.
okay. Next thing about education. This is important for connecting with Europeans because it plays such an important role in our mindset. It's critical thinking. Our educational system, the way that we are being raised, is very much about critical thinking. Critical thinking is the mindset of the individual. What can I believe? What can I not believe? At the moment, actually, it's almost fashionable, critical thinking, with fake news and rampant on the social media, where basically everybody's on Facebook, everybody's is on. People only visit like 2, 3, 4 websites every day, and Facebook is one of them. And how to be critical as to the information that you are receiving. Are we being deceived? Is my world, my view of the world, is that the entire perspective, or are there a lot of other things that are going on? So be critical and create your own world vision. People who cannot think critical are not good partners for debate or for discussion. So if
By the way, I'm curious. Is which graduate university? Globis.
Globis, yeah.
And if you're going to access to looking for the data information about critical thinking in YouTube, 80% of video is from Globis.
Really?
Yeah, and what he's not telling the detail, he's just telling the invite for Globis to attend their course for chargeable payment, and they're going to take 3 months, 6 months for critical thinking. What kind of 6 months is they are going to teach for students? What is that?
Well, actually, I'm following a critical thinking course at the moment.
What is that?
Well, it's a lot about, for example, about to recognize. So it's very much is involved around logics, pure logics. So almost like mathematical logics, how to follow reasons, or how do certain arguments work, deduction, induction. For example, we talked about it, but also how can I recognize a flaw in reasoning from the other side? So actually, it's a very, how to say, it's a very exact science almost. It's really like mathematics. It works like mathematics. Game theory. That's all in critical thinking. That's probably the foundation of that. I'm following it. I think it's getting a little bit tedious because it's getting very deep. There is a professor from an American university who's teaching that. He's very good, but he's very in depth. But it is the way that we are being raised. It's the way that we basically grow up to become critical thinkers. It's the way to maturity.